In the outdoor hiking and backpacking community, the ultralight movement gets some pretty mixed reviews. Some think that it is stupid, unsafe, and uncomfortable, while others obsess over the tiniest weight to achieve that holy grail of a sub 10-pound base weight. While it's definitely not for everyone, I personally love going ultralight. Here are 5 reasons why I love heading into the outdoors with a very light pack. Number 5 might surprise you, but it's my favorite reason. So number 1 might be fairly obvious, but with a lighter pack, I'm able to move quicker and more easily. I'm not encumbered by a big heavy backpack, which can make those uphill and downhills a lot more tiring. I generally find the lighter my pack is, the more comfy it is. There's not as much weight on my shoulders and hips, and it's just a much more forgiving experience. Having a smaller and lighter pack means I'm able to move quicker and cover larger distances. I also feel a little bit more confident on more technical terrain, where I might have to do a bit of scrambling. Having a big heavy pack in those situations can feel like more of a burden than an asset. Reason number 2 why I love ultralight hiking is that it puts less strain on my body. Especially when I'm doing big distances, having a big heavy pack is going to put a lot more wear and tear on things like my knees and joints, hips and shoulders. I don't become as fatigued when I'm carrying a lighter load. My muscles don't have to work as hard, and they're not as tired at the end of a big day. I don't always carry an ultralight pack, but when I'm carrying a heavier load, I definitely notice how much more tired I'm getting and how much more strain I'm putting on my body. That uphill suddenly seems a lot harder with the added weight, and I'm having to take more breaks and feel the burn in my muscles. The less strain I put on my body, the less likely I am to get injured. I've had some annoying injuries while out in the backcountry, mostly tendon related from doing big distances. And yes, at the time I was carrying an ultralight pack, but I like to think that if I had been carrying a heavier load, it would have happened a lot sooner. The more I can do to avoid those annoying injuries, the better. If you're into any sort of outdoor activity, then I'm sure you understand that a lot of us like gear. I personally love trying out new pieces of gear, things that perform differently or are lighter or more durable. It's a big rabbit hole you can go down, and I'm not sure there's an end. Now, although I'm a big fan of gear, I don't always want to be carrying a ton of it while I'm out in the backcountry. When I head outdoors, it's nice to reconnect with nature and just take some time to enjoy the experience. Having lots of different items to try and use can sometimes take away from that experience. By going ultralight, it forces me to bring only the bare minimum and the stuff that I truly need while I'm out there. I don't have lots of little gizmos and gadgets to play with and take away from my experience in nature. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of fun, but sometimes it's nice to just enjoy the moment. Carrying less gear makes packing a whole lot more simple. I've seen people spend over an hour trying to pack their stuff up in the morning, and I've definitely done it as well. When you've got a lot of gear, it takes a lot more time to try to fit it all in your pack, especially if you're approaching the capacity of the pack. It takes a lot more faffing around to try and get everything fitting nicely so that you can close the pack and get on with hiking. Less gear means that I know exactly where everything goes in my pack, and I'm able to get it sorted a lot quicker. Throughout the day, I know where everything is, so I'm not having to waste a lot of time rummaging through my pack on breaks to try to find the piece of gear I'm looking for. It also means that when I want to plan a trip last minute, I'm able to throw all my things in my pack and get out the door quicker, which means I don't burn as much daylight. So although gear can be a lot of fun, I do love to be able to just enjoy the experience with the essentials. Alrighty, so this reason might seem a little bit odd, but counting grams can be fun, especially when you're trying to achieve a very low base weight. Weighing out all your gear individually and analyzing where you can shave off weight can be quite a fun little game. It might not be for everyone, but I really enjoy weighing all my gear and putting it in a list. It gives me a good indication of what's adding a lot of weight and where I might be able to save a few grams. I might be able to cut off some labels, or remove some packaging, or even modify some gear to shave off a few grams. Nitpicking all your gear to even just save a few grams might be a bit of an obsession. But hey, there's worse things to be obsessed about. Now I know that counting grams and trying to save weight doesn't just apply to ultralight hiking. It can be used in all sorts of backpacking and outdoor activities, but I do feel like some of us in the ultralight community take it to a bit more of an extreme. Definitely not for everyone, but hey, I enjoy it. Now reason number 5 might not be something you'd normally think of when you think about ultralight hiking. But because I'm only taking the essentials in order to save weight It means I'm not using gear as a crutch. It can be very easy to just rely on your gear to get you through your outdoor experience. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can buy a heavy, strong, and durable tent so that you know you can pitch it anywhere, or a big, heavy, supported pack so you know you can carry any amount of gear and any weight. Ultralight hiking forces you to not rely on your gear as much. This means that you need to rely on the skills and knowledge that you acquire. That flimsy shelter or lightweight sleep system means you'll have to choose your campsite more carefully. That's a skill that takes practice and knowledge. Other skills, such as understanding the weather or map reading, or even lighting a fire, can all be good things to have in your toolbox, and they can give you peace of mind instead of relying on your gear. I'm not saying you should go out into an environment with gear that's not suitable. Definitely don't do that. But make sure that you planned ahead, you know what you're getting yourself into, and you feel confident knowing that you can rely on your skills as well as your gear to get you through your trip. Ultralight hiking isn't for everyone. And I'm not saying you have to be obsessing over weight or sacrificing comfort. I hope this video has given you some insight into why I like this style of hiking. It allows me to move a lot quicker, more easily, put less strain on my body, and force me to rely on my knowledge and skills. I'd love to hear in the comments what your opinion on this subject is. Whether you love it or hate it, let me know. We all have different ways of doing things, and there's not necessarily a right or wrong when it comes to hiking. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.